Welcome to Kinwomen ALOUD, where good conversation counts. Welcome, everyone, to Kinwomen ALOUD. Hello, I'm Penny, and joining me today are a couple of great friends that I've known for a very long time. And it's very hard introducing friends, can I just say. But firstly, Kelley Chisholm, say hi.
Hello.
Kelley is an overseas aid development specialist focusing on women, marriage and funeral celebrant and all things public. And we'll hear a lot more about Kelley. Rose Parker.
Hello.
Singer, songwriter, storyteller and occupational therapist in her own private practice. And yes, I'm Penny, not-for-profit CEO offering services to support the independence of mainly older people and individuals and families following crisis. We've just thrown a few words together of what we do in our work and community worlds, but we know as women that we carry multiple loads and roles.
Yeah.
Which is the whole point in having conversations that matter. And that, women, is what Kinwomen ALOUD is about. And you'll get to know us and a lot more about us and the different perspectives we bring. So to begin with, I think we just need to have a chat. Is that all right? So
I just thought, we can always have a chat.
Well, let's start with Kinwomen, because we founded Kinwomen. Kelley, Amanda Viviers, who's not with us right now, but will join us later, and myself founded this over 12 years ago. And we've been on radio for 12 years, blogging, doing events, and we've come to this point now where we are launching Kinwomen ALOUD Podcast.
Now, we've even done a couple of podcasts, haven't we, before?
We did a trial.
You know, to actually do them and to do them well, you've really got to get yourselves committed to it and all the planning that goes into it.
Yeah. And so we tried, and we didn't have enough space in all our worlds at the time.
So we're all busy.
So what is Kinwomen, Kel, 12 years ago this started?
Well, you know, when we started it, the fantastic thing was it was all about connection. First to each other. We'd worked together for a long time. We've been friends for, we've been friends for 40 plus years. And Rose,
when we were babes in the woods.
A lot of years, but life starts to take you in different directions, and there's some friendships in life that you kind of want to hold on to. Sometimes you've got to find a vehicle that'll do that, plus you get to do something you love. So we started Kinwomen, and we said, hey, let's bring together this concept of talking about stuff that's important to women, conversations that matter, and let's see how we can kind of bring our voices into that. And so that's how we started Kinwomen.
Yeah. And really, Rose, you've been a part of some of this. Rose, you've been a part of some of this?
Yeah, I loved the events we often did at your place, Pen, and we brought women together and we, I would play some songs, we'd have some food, and we would raise money for women that needed our help, especially through your work, Kel, with Foxglove, I remember. So it was about women empowering other women to live their best lives. And we know we are so resourced as women living in this country of Australia. So we would do events where we would assist and provide resources, put tools into other women's hands to better their lives and the lives of their children. And I love hearing some of your stories of the work you do. So, my contribution has always been musician and friend.
I know that. And music has a way of reaching people,
and connecting.
We've really discovered that. I think we've always known it, but I think music's got a real beauty. Art brings a beauty.
Absolutely. And we all love music. But I love that we've always done this alongside all of our full-time jobs while raising families and being sisters and aunties and children and partners and all the things.
Which every woman listening will understand.
Totally.
And sometimes I think when you live a kind of a discrete, separated life, you actually don't get to understand the everyday challenges that we're all doing, which is juggling life, friendship, family.
And having friendships that you do not mind seeing the mess. We have all seen the messy parts of each other, messes in our lives.
Can we not talk about any of our
We won't talk about any of that, but everyone listening is going, oh my gosh. So this is not a space where you have to be perfect. This is a space to be your authentic self and to know that we all walk a journey where we are navigating big stuff, small stuff, dark stuff, light stuff constantly. And it's actually the connections that you have with other people and the communication that gives that support that we need in those times and spaces. That's what I love about this friendship.
You know what we get to do?
What do we get to do, Kel?
We laugh a lot.
Oh, yeah.
We do laugh a lot.
We've already planned our champagne drinking
And
for today.
I'm a bit nervous because at times there might be like a protracted silence where we're in uncontrollable laughter about something that happens. So if it's happening, just go and get yourselves a cup of tea, come on back, and we'll gather ourselves.
Yeah. I can lose it.
Yeah, I know.
I can lose it to the point of I am like bended over with laughter.
Yeah,
So I've got to make sure I pull myself together, and just be a good girl sometimes, because honestly it can get silly.
So I
But
reckon that's
okay.
what this. So that's. I just wanted to say that because I think that's what a podcast should be about. Of course, you want to have a conversation that matter, but gosh, you want to laugh a lot.
Oh, you want to have
other,
fun,
because so much of even what we get to talk about is just imperfection.
Mm-hmm.
It's just having a go. It's absolutely failing and getting back up and recognising that it just never was the destination, but it actually is always the way that you get there that just brings you so much joy and learning. So we're going to enjoy this, right?
Yeah. We're gonna play. I think playfulness is something that's really important for us here.
Yeah.
And something we want to
advocate for.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Playfulness. It's the thing that can go very easily with responsibility and trying to manage life.
Yeah.
And so I hope we keep playful, girls.
We will.
Totally. More Monica.
More Monica. Give the context for that, Rose. More
movie,
Monica.
It was
What was the movie? Can you remember?
Yeah. We went to see a great film as part of the Swedish Film Festival.
It was.
The
Tuesday Club?
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, go find it. It's about a woman who finds herself at the end of a marriage, a very unexpected, sudden ending of a marriage, and it's her reinventing herself. And she connects with an old school friend and one of her current friends, and they take on Tuesday night cooking classes.
Yes.
And it's just this delightful exploration of, again, life being very messy and sad, but having the courage to just do a little step out and start to add some new layers to yourself, which of course happens after a serious pruning. Don't I know that? And it is delightful. And these women's
Gotta love a
friendship,
pruning
I don't
as
wanna
well.
be it's so delightful. And like the Europeans do, there's this great scene where they all jump in the swimming pool and they're all in their bathing costumes and all their bodies and all their different shapes.
I loved it.
And they're laughing their heads off. And it was just so delicious. And I looked at Penny in the theatre and I went, Penny, this year, more Monica.
More Monica.
She was leading
She's a great
was leading the charge. Yeah.
Yeah.
So more Monica. Yeah.
Fantastic. More Monica, playfulness, another key word in there, pruning. Great word.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with a bit of pruning.
It's essential.
Like
we'll,
I think
we'll cover that in seasons.
Okay, we got to pull this together right now.
Yeah.
So, Kinwomen ALOUD. We're pretty excited about it.
Yeah, we are.
So, Rose and Kelley, let's have a conversation about a hot topic, purpose. I don't know about you, but when I hear the word purpose and living out our purpose, it can sound like too much effort to achieve another task. I've got to tick off or to keep current my purpose, or, oh man, it's unattainable, or the pursuit of it is just, going to set me up for disappointment. It's like a weight. I don't have that personal mission statement and legacy plan laminated on my wall. If I don't have it, I'm a loser. So I'm hoping purpose has a lighter side. I'm really hoping an enjoyable side that can light my path and energize me. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So I think we would probably say that purpose doesn't have to be big, but is more about what rings our bell. But let's find out. So, Kel, I'm going to start with you. Can we have or hold or pursue a passion, a calling or purpose without it feeling like a burden?
Now, I think the culture we're in right now is just so focused on this kind of concept of outcomes and living like you've got this, something bigger than yourself, which of course on one hand, of course I advocate for and I love, but it really has become a burden, I think, in culture, and maybe even more so what am I going to leave behind, as if it has to be something tangibly, I want to leave behind a fund in my name or an and I work in that kind of overseas development aid and kind of sector, and I've seen people there kind of want to create a structure that looks for what you've left behind, and I kind of one time I went to Cambodia, actually, and it was a really great conversation I had with this Khmer woman who I've known for probably 20 years. And she's got a pretty severe disability, but she's run her own business, built a business, started off at a little market and producing silkware. And she ended up having a shop front and Phnom Penh.
Wow.
And, we became great friends. But one time her and I she wanted to take me to dinner. I'd always taken her to dinner. She had a great business. She said, I'll take you to dinner. We get to dinner.
How lovely.
And she starts telling me about the fact that she'll retire. And then she had 2 children. I said, well, is your daughter going to take on the business? And she said, no, he's not going to. She doesn't want to do, the fashion business. I said, I've got a son. Is he going to take on the business? And she says, oh, no, he doesn't want to take it on. He wants to do engineering. And I said to her, but what about your legacy? Like you've spent your whole life building up this business and, you've created something that people from all over the world buy off her. She has an export business. It's big. And what about your legacy? And she turned to me. She said, my legacy is not my business. My legacy is the woman I have become.
Beautiful.
And
I love that.
I said, how do you know that? Like, you think of all the things, we get taught and we learn, but this woman she just lived it, right?
Yeah, right.
So that's where purpose, pen and legacy, we take it as a burden or something you've got to create.
Yeah, and that's where it starts.
Oh boy, it's a tough little burden to throw into your backpack, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a quote from Ralpho, that's hilarious.
He's not
Ralph Waldo, that's where the O came in. Ralph Waldo Emerson, and don't forget he is mid-20th century, where he said the purpose of life is not to be happy.
Mid-19th century.
Sorry,
did I say
where are we now? 21st?
Yeah, we're in the 21st.
Oh my gosh. I've traversed a couple of centuries. Anyway. Yes, thank you, 19th century. He said the purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honourable, to be compassionate, to have it make a difference that you have lived and lived well. And I kind of thought to myself, it was interesting when I looked at that quote, do we agree with this? Is our purpose in life not to be happy but honourable? I don't know.
Oh, it's got to be both, doesn't it? Can it be both? Can I pick both?
You can pick both.
I need to pick both.
I think it is both, personally. I think it is. I mean, if we think about an influencer today, would they say it quite that way? I don't think they would. And
don't you reckon it's interesting when you have a quote that often you feel compelled to go along with it? Like you hear a great quote or
and it is a great quote.
And it is a great quote.
Yeah.
You feel compelled almost. But what we've got to remember, these are just people, right, looking at life through their own lens.
Through their lens in their time.
So back then, he's like living at a pretty hard time in life. And he says, you know what? He says to people, life is not about being happy. It is about being useful and honourable. I understand where he was coming from. And I love it on one hand. But you know what? And of course, our culture is almost like the purpose of life is to be happy.
Me.
Well, absolutely. So this girl, Amy Blankson, so she works in the whole digital wellness space, which I think is a really interesting. She's a real advocate for it, which we need, right? And she says purpose is the compass that guides us through life's challenges, and happiness is the light that illuminates our path. So you can see that she's wanting to have that both. I need happiness. I need purpose. And she's then kind of goes on to say things like, align your actions with your purpose, because that's where true fulfilment and joy comes in. And that's the difference of time and what was important at the time.
Yeah.
It's quite a different thing. So I think purpose can be in the middle somewhere. Sometimes it is a sacrifice.
Well, I think purpose without values could just be an ego supercharged running to achieve their goals and their number of this and their number of that and measurements. Like you say, Pen, do you have to have it laminated and sitting on your wall, I don't think I've ever done a vision board or a mission statement in my life.
I have actually done a vision
board.
And
I'm a musician. I'm meant to, supposedly.
Well, no, because a musician lives in the moment.
It's so inside me, It's so inside me.
And it is so compelling, and it actually is about bringing joy to yourself and to others.
Absolutely.
And if you don't serve others with joy, I actually think people sense it. People know when they're being treated as a duty or I'm a task.
Yeah,
so
or
I
an
am.
Object.
I love this quote. in one hand, let me just tell you one thing, which I wonder
Which quote do you love? Which one?
This one with Ralph
Ralph,
Waldo,
yeah.
Ralpho as we call him.
Ralpho.
Ralpho.
Yeah.
We've Australianised him already.
Poor Ralpho. But I love, when I read this, I see my vulnerability, right?
I see you in that.
Stop
quote.
it.
Sorry.
To be useful, to be honourable, to be compassionate, to have to make some difference. Like, I have a tendency towards the martyr, which this is where I see this. If you don't have happiness, which is mean, hey, I want to be all these things. But it's this tendency to become a martyr. And you know what? When you're doing things out of martyrdom, first of all, it's not particularly joyful. Secondly, I think other people sense that, both the people you're helping and people you're walking with. I don't think it adds what you really want to add. And I'm more that. What about you, Rose? Where would you see yourself?
I'm probably far left, the hedonist, in the moment. Give me pleasure, give me joy. I just want to feel it with every fibre of my being and body. And that, of course, is a place that I'm in when I'm creating a song. You know, it's a big combination of feeling. But if it was just feeling, it'd finish pretty quick, and it'd whip me around like I'm on the end of a whip. You know, like it's just flapping me around. Yeah, because I've learned that feelings are so important for creating and living in the moment, but they can't guide me constantly. I have to have values, and I've had to learn to put anchors down in my life. And when I'm anchored in my values combined with my love of happiness and joy, then my purpose is given wings and weight. And that's a great place for me to live.
It is great. I heard this woman say about feelings, Susan David actually, she has this comment that feelings are indicators.
Well, they're data.
They're data.
Yeah,
they're just indicators.
Yeah.
They're not actually giving you direction. So it is this, but you need them.
You need them because they're telling you something about
because we're so committed, and this is where purpose can become so dry. Right? I don't want to be there. No. And maybe I've learned that more as I've got older.
And I've learned the other side too.
Yeah.
Great.
So here are us too.
Okay.
So we say, Ralpho, you've got it right.
Ralpho, you've got it right because it's both.
But I like what Amy says too, you know. I love that she's in this generation where it's so much in the moment, but she's already discovered that purpose is a compass that guides us through life's challenges. Because service is important, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
You know,
service is.
Now more than ever, because we are in a...
And it is honourable and it is compassionate. Service is really a good thing.
That's why people love being connected in a community and feeling that it's more than just them. Like I see it when I do a gig and I've got a room full of people that are just loving, enjoying that moment together. And that's the difference between listening to music at home in your lounge room, which is also really cool, but being in a room with people and people enjoying that experience together with that connection. That's another whole level of joy and bliss, isn't it?
Do you feel like you've had purposed seasons? You know what I mean? Like I think, you know, you think of all the seasons you've been through as a woman.
I think there's purpose in every season, though. I actually do.
But it can be quite different.
Yeah, it can be quite different.
Oh, it has to be, and you have to accept those differences, don't you?
But I think there is a purpose in every season. I don't, you know, sometimes I often actually would say I meet a woman who's in that season, say, of children, or early career. And early career when you're having to do things you just don't really want to do. Yeah. And I've got to keep saying and reminding, you know, if you do the things to make your way, to learn and to grow and to develop, another season arrives, which gives you the freedom and autonomy that I totally love right now. Same as children. I don't regret one moment of those years. Well, and at the time, let me tell you, I wasn't quite so optimistic about it.
Well, parenting is one of those seasons where the purpose is beautiful and huge, because this actually is the people legacy, if we're going to use that word, that actually makes the difference. At the end of life, nobody's going to give a rat's ass. Like how many certificates I've got, who I shook hands with.
It's clear.
The number of
purpose is quite clear at that point, if you allow it to be that.
Exactly. What's going to be remembered is who I loved and impacted and shared who I was with.
Yeah.
That's that. So parenting, as hard as it can be sometimes, because you're really in the trenches, let's face it, your time and your energy is a huge emotional time, physical time, but that actually is one of the most beautiful purposes we ever get to have if we get to choose that or can.
Yeah. I think so. I think you've got to accept it.
Well, it's a conversation I have with a lot of musicians, women, female musicians who have to lay their career aside for a season while you are doing the very important work of feeding children and caring for them. Because, and it's a balance, and as I've said, you can have everything, but not all at the same time.
You can't, and that's okay.
It is, but it's still and let's face it, it's a sacrifice that primarily only women have to make, and we need a society that provides structures for that.
We need society that says it's
and
okay.
people, totally, and then provides pathways for women to pick up not only where they left off, but
a few steps
projected
ahead.
Totally.
A few steps ahead.
So advocating for that is really important to me. But the purpose and raising children and doing that well, I had a pivotal moment in my career where I literally had to choose between the two, and it was an easy choice.
Easy choice.
That's
me
right.
Too. Me too.
And it was,
So does purpose, where does it start? Is it internal? Is it about who we are, finding out who we are and bringing the best of who we are? Is that where it starts? You think, go back to your story?
Oh yeah, with nothing on.
I think that is.
Yeah. It's what I think it is. It is understanding perhaps yourself more. And, can I confess, I love lots of Barbie, that movie. I did. But I particularly love that song, What Was I Made For?
Oh,
I just feel like that song gives someone permission to say it's not about the external, and it wasn't even about happiness and apparent joy, right? It was about actually discovering, having a sense of, I think I'm doing what I was made for. And that, Penny, remember we said earlier, that's about what rings your bell.
Absolutely.
Right.
Not about what other people see and applaud about you.
Great.
But about, hey, what I reckon, and asking yourself the question, when she sings that song in this haunting, broken voice that often kind of crackles through as she sings, I kind of found myself teary.
Wow. Yeah.
So, and I think it was that sense of, I think I am doing that. And it takes a bit of a lifetime to get there.
To be able to reflect back on it and see it.
Along the way, I've had these lovely little moments. I didn't have to wait because they kept popping up. Where I found those, the kind of gifts or the abilities that I knew I had.
Yeah, you suddenly see.
Mm.
And I think that's one of because the applause of others fades very quickly and is very temporary and is very transient, and you cannot rely on it.
And can be quite transactional.
Very transactional in today's world.
Yes.
But actually that internal, I'm good at this. Others have acknowledged it in me, and this is who I am and this is what I'm going to bring, is there every day because it's me, and wherever you go, you have that opportunity to bring it.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is why it has to start. It's an internal understanding of who we are and giving it away.
And that will mean you've got to try a few things.
Yes, trial and error sometimes.
This is the whole thing. I think people want to almost, go to a course and do a test and do some kind of little, someone asks you questions and somehow you can identify it. I don't think it's true. I really honestly don't, because I actually watched a fantastic movie the other day about a woman who was incredibly shy and reserved, a country woman. Anyway, in the end, she's produced her own movie. It's actually on a program called Australian Story. It tells the story of her. She produced a movie which is about her life on the farm. She was this incredibly shy, reserved girl who actually ended up acting in that movie.
Right.
And is now actually has just shown all this talent. I'm like, how brave was she?
Totally.
She would never have known. I mean, I think it's a risky business to actually locate what you're made for.
It is, but I think it has to be internal, being who we are, and loving what we are good at and can do. And I kind of guess I look at like social media, and because if we make it about fame, fame, that's luck.
Totally. And I'm just thinking about my journey here as a musician. So part of my purpose obviously is writing songs and performing songs. That came from having a gift planted within me from before I was born. I think the first time I was stood up to sing, I was 4 years old. And the first time I had a guitar put in my hand, I was 12. And I've been doing both of them ever since. And it comes from a deep love within me. But people have told me all my life, oh, you're good at that, you know. And so then the enjoyment of it and being told you're good and people wanting you to do it more grows the gift, and your purpose grows out of that. But I've always had to keep that intrinsic love of what I do as the central reason for why I do what I do. Yeah. I've had people come up to me and go, oh, my gosh, you just love being on stage, don't you? And I'm like, you have no idea. What they're seeing is my love and joy of singing and playing.
Yes.
And I do love seeing a room of people experiencing feelings and connectedness. But I have just as much pleasure sitting on my lounge, in my lounge room, playing on my own and writing a song, because that's where it has to actually start and finish with me. And anything else that comes along the way is a bonus. The challenge for me, and I'm sure any creative that's listening, is that, of course, you desire to create a body of work that you hope other people will connect with, but you have no guarantees. Yeah. Fame cannot be a reason you do anything.
Cannot be. No.
You have to keep your motivation as creating a body of
and
work.
Fame is not just like, that big fame. It's that idea of it, acknowledgement. So I know that my thing is actually connecting with people from any different culture.
And you really do it at a multicultural level.
I walk into a village where a woman
gosh.
does not speak English, doesn't even understand. But you know what? I feel this incredible connection to her.
I have to come with you on one of these trips.
Oh my gosh, it's my best thing to do.
I think the great thing about purpose is that it can be seen everywhere, and we see it all the time. So whether it's our paid work, volunteering, hobbies,
our home,
lifestyle, taking a risk, living an adventure, parenting, activism, creativity, careers. That's the great thing about purpose. It's not limited to your career, certainly not.
Or
you take it with you.
One big thing.
You take it with you because you are there, and purpose is linked to who you are. So listen, we're going to have to bring this to a close, but I think there's a sense around the kin table that finding our purpose should never feel like a weight.
No.
A task to achieve so others can approve us, because, we'll be dead in the water for that one. Living a purpose life is so much more about bringing who we are and what we're perhaps good at. And love doing and sharing it just naturally. So, kin women, fabulous.
Thanks for being with us today.
Bye.
Okay, so next time we're going to interview Rose Parker around her purpose, life story, the pivotal moments that have guided her music, how she manages the ever-present desire for fame in today's world as a musician and singer. Until next time, you are our kin. Join us for more conversations. Follow us on our podcast and socials. I'd like to thank Mark Ralph, studio engineer from Elemental Sounds, and Natalie Kellner from Mindful Marketing, our fabulous producer. Thank you. You are our kin. Thank you for joining the Kinwomen ALOUD conversation. This podcast is written and directed by the Kinwomen team, recorded at Elemental Sound in Perth, with sound engineering by Dylan Bokelman and production by Natalie Kellner from Mindful Marketing. Don't miss our next chat. Follow us. See you then.